So the second lecture is how thoughts change our destiny. Someone one time, I remember, asked sarcastically my spiritual guru, how can the sound vibration change destiny? And we did talk about it on the last lecture, that here's our soul. Around our soul is the destiny. Here's our soul right here. Around our soul is the destiny. And destiny is the one that pushes you and pushes your life to deal with certain scenarios, difficulties, challenges in life. For some people, challenges will be on the family dynamic, meaning the most difficult challenges are with parents, husbands, wives, and kids. On the second level is with work, careers, and health. And on the third level is with girlfriends and bosses and colleagues. Make sense? And of course, if a stranger tells you, oh, you're fat and ugly, it's like, whatever, you know. But if your husband or your mother tells you you're fat and ugly, that punches. And that's what I mean. The destiny works through them. And destiny remembers all our deeds from previous lives. We've done good deeds, and that's why we're born queens and princesses and have rich and good husbands. Or we did really bad things in the past, and now we're broke and miserable and have terrible husbands or single. Do you get that? And our duty in life, everybody wants happiness. But we gotta earn happiness. We're here to pass the exams in life. As you pass the exam in life, meaning you have a terrible abusive husband, you overcome that exam, you elevate. You have a terrible relationship with your parents, they were abusive verbally or physically, you overcome that exam, you elevate higher. So our job here to pass the exams as they're punching us. And how we pass our exam is through spiritual practices. And now I would like for you to take notes if you can. So there are three types of actions. The first action is through body. For example, you can take a gun and you can shoot someone. Somebody can take a gun and shoot you right back. That's the action through the body. It's very fast, but it doesn't really bring lasting changes. Of course, if they shoot you and you got paralyzed, it's a lasting change, but they're not very effective. That's what I'm trying to say. For example, you have a husband, he went outside, he saw a prettier girl, you have a problem, boom, he's cheating on you. That's a really fast action. It's action through the body. Clear? Any questions about that? No? Second, there's also action through thoughts. And Vedics are saying that thoughts is also action, but it's not seeable, meaning you cannot see the results through thoughts. When a person thinks so much, I want a job, I want a job, I want a job, eventually they get a job because they're putting all of their thoughts to that. Or for example, they're thinking, oh, I'm so scared that my husband will cheat on me. Guess what? It's also a thought, and sooner or later he cheats on you because that's also a thought in the background. Maybe you're not even fully aware of it. So the action through thoughts moves us closer to real action. They're moving faster, not like the action through body. They're moving us closer to action. And there's also action through word. How the actions through word? You say, I do, and the whole mindset is shifting. Or you said, I want to practice spirituality, and now you start meditating, and now you're starting to do things, you're saying things. This is brings you a real result. So the words actually mean a lot. What you're saying out loud, you can say something so wonderful that you can uplift a person, or you can say something nasty, it will bring results, you will make them feel like nothing. So words actually has the most powerful action if we're looking at this three dynamic: action through body, action through thoughts, and action through words. And sometimes action of words doesn't work right away on our destiny, but it moves very deep to our destiny. For example, a judge in a court, if you curse somebody in a court, a judge, he can immediately put you in jail if you insult a judge. The words, power. You get it? Yeah? In Turkey back in the days, if a person insults a mother, they were put in a can of poo-poo, of caca, and they would be standing there in a whole can of poop, and their head would stick out. And every minute the sword would go around and they have to sit in the poop. So you just gotta get how in the past, the action of word, how much it had power. And imagine 24 hours they were going around the town and they have to sit in the poop. Would you think they would insult their mother or somebody's mother? Never again. They learned their lesson. What I'm trying to say again, how much the words actually have power. And so when I was telling you in the past, when we put our mind, here we're ignorance, here's the passion, and here's the layer of goodness, that you decide you want to move towards spirituality. And you're not just starting to saying, I wish everyone happiness, I wish everyone happiness, because here's God, here's we are. And if you put the sound of monks, and if you put the sound of people who pray or praise the Lord, you know, the universe or high energy, through the sound of monks, our vibration goes up. And now when we're sending, I wish everyone happiness, or if you do the other affirmation, or if you're praying, your vibration goes high. And you're starting to conquer the destiny, your fate. Because we're on by ourselves are very weak. That takes a much longer time if you just do it quietly, and if you just sit with your thoughts and you're thinking, well, I'm in control, I can do it. That's a lot of effort, and it's a lot of work. Questions about it, because this is very important. And I don't say I don't see clarity in your eyes. I see confusion. Talk to me. Give me feedbacks.
The sound, the power of sound, it's huge, because even when you turn on music on a specific vibration, like low frequency, it will physically work on your body, you know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because right now you're listening. Through the sound, we grow. Because question, Lena.
I was just gonna say that I've been doing the meditations, but I would use different sounds. I experimented with the sounds, and having like the Gregorian chants is like next level. I've done like you know, in silence as well. But what I found is when I light a candle, I have an incense. I always use the same incense and the same sound. It lets my subconscious mind know that this is what we're doing, and like we're preparing for this.
Yeah, and you can do the ritual.
But I'm saying that the sound itself is powerful.
Yes, because saying's not going to make a difference. You can put sayings or not. For you it works because it gives you a signal. But for a lot of people, you got to get, you're right now here. Maybe even you think, oh, I'm not ready to change, I want to stay in my energy. That's fine. But still, through the sound, you have a different something to think about. You will live, and something going to be start shifting without you knowing. You're going to start looking at life through a different lens, somewhat without even understanding it. And so by listening to spiritual messages, listening spiritual music, especially to people who really love God, whether they're singing, whether they are praying, our vibration goes high. And so sometimes I meet such a smart people, double, triple PhD, but it's all here. And you have to understand the difference. If I didn't experience my own transformation, everything I would be saying would be very cheap. But because I already experienced it on my soul level, I give you not the theory, I give you piece of me. It's experiential. And with that, there's a room for changes. Otherwise, theories are very, very cheap. Yeah? And so, our thoughts, located in our mind, and mind is refuge to our faith. Now hear me, if you don't understand, ask me a question. Faith lives right here in our soul. Destiny or faith, however you want to call it. But our thoughts are prisoners. I mean, our thoughts are obscured by our prisoner. Our thoughts are not clear and pure because they are obscured by our impressions in life, because we see everything through filter. It's not pure, it's not clear. And so thoughts alone not gonna change our life. We are prisoners of our destiny. But conscious mind, so if this is our thoughts, this is our mind, this is our consciousness. Consciousness is above it all. And when we listen, question to you, what do you think listens? Thoughts, mind, or consciousness? Consciousness. And only consciousness can change. And then consciousness influences mind and thought. Is that clear? Okay, because this is very important. Also, so I was talking about here's the soul, here's the destiny. Inside, also our destiny is karma. And for those who don't know what is karma, karma is the law of justice. Everything that you put out there, for example, you use word and you hurt your child or you hurt your husband by a word. Because when you say something nasty and it hurts someone, guess who you're really hurting? Yourself. Absolutely. You're really hurting yourself. And how I would like for you to imagine also, one time one of my girlfriends said, Alisa, aren't you afraid to share all the good stuff between you and your husband? Because when people get jealous, you know, things gonna go away. Your beautiful marriage can collapse and this gonna collapse. And this is all based on fear, because people don't know there's also a law of karma that I would like to draw. And for that, I would like for you, thank you. So imagine that this is you. Sorry, not gonna draw an art. Simple you. And every person has a pile of karma. This is their pile of karma. They did mistake here and there. I'm just gonna draw a little bunch of mistakes, and this is all of the pain they caused to other person. Do you know that when someone is jealous, when someone wants something that they don't have, Do you know what they do actually to your karma and all of the bad things that you've done? Hold on one second. And this is this other person who is jealous of you. And, all right. And this person also has this pile of karma, all of the pain that they cause to other people. And so when they're jealous, what they do, they're taking your pile of karma and adding to theirs. Also, when you're hurting someone, you said something nasty to your husband. Okay, pile gets bigger. You did again something nasty. Pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Not talking about it, that we also had previous lives. And if we believe that theory, that we have many lives, then the pile is really huge. Really huge. And then my question is, how can you start making the pile of this pain that we cause to others smaller?
Meditate.
Yes.
Acceptance of yourself.
So there is many levels of how you can work on the karma. The simplest way is to serve others. Serving. Not having anything in return. Because in the level of passion, if you watch the videos from previous lecture, you do it because you have a hidden agenda, you want something bad in return. For example, that means me charging you here for the spirituality classes, right? My knowledge. That means I have something, a hidden agenda, I want to make money. Then it's not serving. Clear? When you go feed homeless, not giving them money, because if this homeless person takes your $5 and buys a beer, that adds to your karma, by the way. You're responsible because you gave them the money. But if you fed them, it takes it away. We gotta serve without hidden agenda. The second way is doing spiritual practices. Every time you meditate or do the affirmations or prayer, because it's so simple. I wish everyone happiness, you're saying in the morning. It seems like, how can you do good with it? But your aura around you afterwards, it's not the same aura. And now everything that comes out of your mouth, it's not the same as if you wouldn't. And that's how you impact your colleague, your girlfriend, your husband, your kids, because you are responsible for everything that comes out of your mouth. Because either you do good or you do bad. And we're walking around throwing things out right and left. And then how then we're different than cats and dogs? Cats and dogs eat, cats and dogs sleep, cats and dogs mate, cats and dogs have home. Here we have home. The difference between us and animals is that we need to go towards that. And if it's hard for you to meditate and do affirmations, do this. Serve others. Basic. Just start serving others. Yes?
I just have a feeling that the action of serving other and spiritual growth, it's more like feminine energy.
Thank you.
And putting everything on.
Yes. Yes, and that's why if you don't do the spirituality, how would you even serve others? You don't even have natural ability to do that, because this is we're living in a very material world where everything is exchange, constant exchange. We want something in return. We want to experience the pleasure, enjoyment of food, enjoyment of drink, enjoyment of alcohol, enjoyment of sex, enjoyment of our kids. Oh, tell me, I love you. Oh, tell me, husband, give me the affirmations.
And this is how we are losing our feminine energy.
Yes.
By that, how to say, something.
Expectations, yes.
Expectations.
A lot
we're
of.
losing our feminine energy.
But it's not even losing. We don't have it. We just have to acknowledge that we don't have it unless we move towards spirituality. The world is right now full of masculine energy. We are surrounded by masculine energy, where people just, and in the masculine energy, it's cutthroat. Survive, make money, survive, make money, 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 for this, money, for that, and fear, 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 lots of fears. And the fears only can decrease because people are relying on healers, on motivational speakers, on therapists to decrease their fears. At some level it will decrease to some, but not to the degree where you feel the certainty, where you feel the freedom and happiness that all is going to be good, and all is going to be good is about the destiny. And you can conquer the destiny only through spirituality. And spirituality, I mean here, it could be Christianity, it could be Vedic studies, Muslim, it could be affirmations, but this. The other lightest energy, how you can nurture the karma, thank you, Katya, is through nature. Because nature, but it's actually supposed to go right here before that. The second is spirituality, but nature should have been above. When you spend time in the nature, nature is part of creation of God. But we cannot listen to the music when we're in the nature. We really got to connect to the birds, to the creek, to the water. We don't even know how much trees calms us down, our anxiety and depression. We don't need antidepressants. We need to be outside in the nature and not going outside and making kebabs and listening boom, 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 boom. That's not what I mean by being in the nature. Really, every day, spending quality time on the nature. So this is supposed to go up. And so the deepest level, actually, the connection, how we can heal the destiny, is connection to God. And again, God to some is energy, to some it's higher power, to some it's like hearing me, to how it is. Prayer, prayer, prayer. But some people don't even know how to pray. If you don't know, it's okay. Start with the way you can. The best prayer when we don't ask God for anything. We just acknowledge our sins, acknowledging for what we have, and just worship Him. Worship Him and worship Him. And that's what really God wants from us. And then that's the fastest way, because everything else will slowly move your karma lower and lower. But when you do this, it moves with velocity. Moves with velocity. Yeah. Polina, did I answer your question? Or no?
Did I have a question?
You had a question, so how can we do that, right? This is how we do that.
What is velocity?
Velocity быстро, очень быстро. Очень быстро. Спасибо, Катюша, садись. Ускорение. Спасибо. Yes. Really, really fast. So something to think about. So as I started deepening my spiritual practices, what I start to see is when I interact with someone, I have to be responsible to how I speak. Because we are not just the physical body, we're souls. And if you can, because it's a very difficult concept, because even if you can understand it with your head, I'm just starting to get that on the level of heart and soul. I can almost feel that my certain intonation makes my son tilt his head away from me. That's the certain intonation when I speak. Do you see on the wall all of these pictures? Mm-hmm. There's a lot in common there, swords, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're born into 4 different distinctions. We're either born a teacher, which is called in Sanskrit Brahman. Second is warrior. Third is Vaishya, businessman and people who are good with money, responsible for economy. And the fourth is person who is good at one thing, maybe a doctor, maybe a craftsman, maybe a singer, etc. So my son is a warrior. You see a lot of swords. I try to negotiate for 2 weeks. Can we move them to another room? No. No. His favorite word, no. And if my intonation is like what I'm using right now with you guys, his head is still certain this way. He blocks me. And I'm connecting to his soul. Mom, you're not my boss. Don't talk to me like this. And I have to, he's my greatest teacher. I have to do so much work on myself to continue shifting to feminine, so that he will melt and say, yes, Mom, we can do that. There's still, he will not give up his wall right now. He wants to be proud and for me to praise him. But for the most part, unless I'm so gentle and so feminine, my son most of the time tells me, no. And so our parents, our significant others, and our kids, our greatest teachers. But unless we do spiritual work, we cannot see them as soul. We can't. We don't see their gift of who they are, what's important to them. Is it the words of affirmation? Is it words of love and comfort? Is it what is their talents? What do we need to explore? We just don't see it. And life goes by so fast and they're like, oh, it was so clear that he liked Lego, that it's a future engineer and architect, and we don't see, and we're constantly pushing math, swimming. We're not even questioning who are they as individual. And we don't see the true potential of our husbands, because all we want is survive, and we're just nasty, complain, criticizing. We're not seeing them. And you think that you can drop your husband because you're so miserable and find something else, but then the destiny gonna put you through a different angle where something else not gonna work, either similar or some form of that. And so there's no avoiding it. There's no quick fix. There's no running away from it. There's lots of hopelessness if we're not doing spirituality. We're going to be in the same, like I was explaining, can with poop. And our head is sticking out and we're thinking all is well. But if our husbands were fighting, or with kids, or we're constantly working, it's a pretense that we're happy. And I know it's a deep topic, right? And we're like thinking, but I need your feedback. What are you hearing?
It actually reminded me of a spiritual teacher I was listening to, and he said that, he gave an example. I have this couple, and they are so focused on yoga and eating well, and all they do is argue. And they were talking to me about getting inflammation out of their bodies, and he had to make them realize, well, guess what? You're bringing inflammation into your body by the interaction that you're having. So your last part resonates with that.
Yes. And it again goes back to the arguing won't stop. And by avoiding it, I had a girlfriend. If I would say something to her, a little comment here and there, she would just shut down, block me, and would go away. That's her way of shutting down, but that's not fixing the problem. And I understand that's not how she's with me. She's like that with everyone. But that's not the way to live. Who shuts down is a 5-year-old. 5-year-olds have no capacity to say, oh, what you said hurts me, or what you said I don't like, or what you say I don't agree. There's a way to communicate. But she shuts down. And when people shut down or scream and yell, how the other girlfriend that I had to cut the ties with, she doesn't talk, she throws up. And we gotta be responsible to how and what comes out of our mouth. And without doing that, We go to motivational courses, we do this course and that course, and we feel good for a week or two, and then it goes back. Because the core, a human being can never give you what the higher power can give you, what the universe can give you. I can give you knowledge, but if you get the transformation, it's not because of me. It's because you're connecting to the source. And so sometimes I take it very personally when people say, oh, thank you, Elise. No, don't thank me. Thank the source. And when people saying, oh, thank you, this course leader or this course leader. No, it's not the course leader. It's your desire to move towards higher purpose. Otherwise, it's all material world, and in the material world, it's an illusion that we can be happy. We're not even born to be happy. We're born to pass our exams. And when we pass our exams, we feel happy. I passed my exam with my husband. I feel good. I feel proud. I passed it. I'm now working to pass my exam with my son. I am not there. I'm working at it, and it's hard. He's my greatest teacher. I have a general at home. Most of the time, I'm like, what else he gonna say and how he gonna say? His delivery is very strong. He is rough. He is tough. And I'm like, my God, I'm scared of a 6-year-old. And I'm scared because I don't have enough femininity for him. He wants me to be like a Virgin Mary, because when he falls asleep, I tell him the story of Jesus and Virgin Mary, and my grandmother was like a Virgin Mary. She was very spiritual. My mother was neurotic, complete opposite. And so he has an image that a woman should be like Virgin Mary, and he's like, Mom, you raised your voice. Go pray. I'm kidding you not. Or you didn't pray long enough today. Go back. So I'm like, wow, right? And so I have rough general who is telling me to do more transformation on myself. And I'm grateful to that, because he catches that. Either he's sending me like that or he does this. And his eyes goes there. And I know I'm not in femininity enough to talk to him. And the moment I say to him, oh, honey, I had such a rough day. I had to cook and clean and talk to 5 people, and 4 people were really this and this and this. And I'm like so tired and exhausted. Mom, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. Go take your bubble bath and then go do your meditation. A 6-year-old. So cute, right? They were teachers. Yes, Paulina.
So I have a couple of questions. So first, one of our friends over there mentioned already that this is kind of feminine energy. Do you kind of differentiate between, you know, your son tells you all the time to go pray, go pray?
Not all the time, but once a week, sometimes once a day.
Pray? Does your husband go pray? How does it work with feminine and masculine? In